Hello everyone, and today in this video I'm going to be presenting my 2023 NBA season power rankings tier list for the season as the new year is rapidly approaching. As I am recording this video, it's 11:22, so like just under an hour before 2023 rings in. I just thought I'd just squeeze this one in. You know the drill from if you've watched my NFL power rankings tier list I did about a month ago, and just if you're watching this video, you probably know the tier lists were clear, so I don't need to explain much about it. But just a bit of clarification once again. Farther on the right of the tier team is, those are the worst teams in each tier, and further left are the better teams in each tier. And also, unlike last time, unlike last time, I'm actually going to be presenting the tier list as complete constructed, and then explain my reasoning for why they are where they are, instead of basically just putting it together as you go, basically in real time. Let me know if you do prefer that format or just the regular format as I did in my NFL one. But yeah, I'm just gonna get into this now. So I have Boston, Memphis, Cleveland, and Milwaukee in S tier. The reason I have Milwaukee in S tier just because they've had going through a really bad rough spell. Just in even before then, there's a lot of red flags with Milwaukee where it's basically just Giannis doing everything, and some of it still isn't enough just because he's really is not getting really much help from his teammates. Drew, he's alright, but you can tell there's a glaring need for shot creation, for just someone to take attention away from Giannis, to take the defense's attention away from Giannis, to just make things easier for him and just make the offense flow better. They still got 3 defensive player of the year candidates on their team. Giannis, obviously, Brook Lopez, and arguably Drew Holiday. Still arguably one of the better defensive point guards in the NBA still. That's if case you're wondering why I have them so low, that's why I do. Boston's Bostoning. Jason Tatum's being him, Jaylen Brown being him. They're as a complete unit. They're playing great basketball offensively and defensively. I don't really have a ton to say because you already know everything if you've been following the season about Boston. Jason Tatum's still an MVP candidate. Jaylen Brown's likely an all-star starter for for the Eastern Conference. Memphis. Memphis has been balling on both ends. They've just been really good. In generally kind of weak-ish Western Conference play. The Western Conference has been kind of weaker as of late compared to the East. Just look at stronger teams, just kind of record-wise, and who looks better. But I think Memphis is my favorite to make it out of the West. Dallas Bingham, they're not really a very flashy team other than besides Ja doing what he does. But they're winning. Just tonight they clamped up Zion. The entire Pelicans team was bricking everything. CJ was bricking. Herb Jones was bricking. Zion just every time he went to the paint, it was Brandon Clark and Jaren Jackson Jr. meeting him, and he's had a rough time. And they ended up losing to Memphis tonight in Memphis. So, they're playing their style of ball and they're winning it. And I'm putting them over Cleveland because Cleveland's had a recent skid as well. As well as Milwaukee, so that's why I'm giving them the nod. But I think they're kind of being slept on and not really given the respect that they are deserved. Cleveland, speaking of Cleveland, the Cavs, Donovan Mitchell, I think he is in the MVP conversation or should warrant something. Just the fact he's almost, the way he's shooting is almost in the 50-40-90 club. Last I saw his stats, his shooting splits, it's pretty remarkable. Very efficient, 28 points per game. Garland, the Mitchell Garland backcourt has been a stunning success. Mobley and Allen guarding the paint still. Small forward, I think, still a bit of a weak position for them. I think probably their only weak spot. Because, at least the last I saw, like I may embarrass myself and I'll like put it in post if I'm wrong, but like I don't think Levert is actually starting games. So like I'm not sure who's strong at small forward for them, but I think that's a bit weak spot for them. That's bad. Kevin Love, he's kind of been twice good, but he's still good. Playing great ball, elite defensively as always. Um, yeah, they had the rest here. Being the out of the Bucks because the Bucks side I feel like has been more concerning, and generally I feel like they've been weaker than Cleveland. But that's just me. Brooklyn. Ever since the Kyrie scandal, ever since the dust settled on that, and Kyrie came back from suspension, it's kind of been quiet, smooth sailing ever since. They're on a league high 11 game winning streak now after they blew out Charlotte in Charlotte. Uh, Kyrie's hooping, KD's hooping. Hooping Ben Simmons is being Ben Simmons. Royce O'Neal, he's snapping away. Joe Harris, Curry, all he's like you know the drill. Mix Claxton, he's good. They've hit their stride. They are what we thought they would be if things stayed calm. Which now things, at least for now, and hopefully they stay that way, are calm. And yeah, I feel like there's nothing to say about it, but they're winning. They're rolling. They found their stride, and Jacques Vaughn's got them actually playing defense now. I think they're like either like ninth in defensive rating or points per game or somewhere around that lane. They're actually at least decent. Because with all the scores that they have, like if they just played even just average defense, they'd be a real lethal contender in the East. But they're doing that, so the reason why I don't have them in S tier is just because look at the body of work, looking how things went early on compared to now recently. But actually, now I think we're looking at how Milwaukee's being and how Brooklyn is going. I think that I might end up having to put Milwaukee in A tier over Brooklyn. But yeah, for Denver, Jokic, Jamal Murray's playing way back in shape. They're great offensively in numerous ways. Like Jokic ran offense is going to be so fluid. Um, but they cannot defend. Things like they allow the second highest opposing field goal percentage. So teams generally shoot pretty great against them, like close to 50% from the field. Oops. Um, and yeah, like they're playing A-tier basketball. Like they're still balling. The defense is the reason why I don't think they will go far really in the postseason because like the reason getting against the Kings, they allowed Samas Sabonis, Fox, I think it was De'Aaron Fox, and Malik Monk to all drop 30 on them. Like you let Malik Monk drop 30 on you, that's pretty bad. Um, and that was a game that they lost in Sacramento. Um, but like the Nuggets, like there's a fun, good team party. Um, they're right here. And the Pelicans, the big three's healthy. They're undefeated. If last I saw, and I'm pretty sure this might still sound, Branning's guy been missing some games as of late. That they're undefeated, or at least they generally win most of their games when the big three of CJ, Ingram, and Zion are all playing. They're deep. They're great defensively. Lots of good defenders. I think their interior paint is actually pretty decent. Not just tonight. Maybe probably partially to do with the off night, or maybe Memphis Divas were just that good. Was that like CJ McCollum was like super inefficient, like 3 of 12 or something. Herbert Jones was like 2 of 12 or 2 of 16 or something. Zion was 6 of 16. Anytime he went to the lane, Brandon Clark and Jaren Jackson Jr. were just locking him up. He got chained up anytime he went in the paint. But when everything's when they are fully assembled, as one, they are a dangerous force to be reckoned with. They are, they aren't my favorite to make it out of the West because I don't think they have enough experience as a whole. The team hasn't been through enough to really make that jump like how I think Memphis can, considering how the West has kind of been weak-ish. Right now, there's been like a lot of disappointing teams or teams that kind of just have underwhelmed. But yeah. But they're still A tier. I had them lower because of the recent skid they've been on, but Moving on from the best to the worst, Orlando is the best in the Wembanyama contenders tier. Paolo, who's going to win Rookie of the Year. A lot of great young players. Hopefully, Jonathan Isaac can actually play for the first time in like 2 years. Hopefully, at some point, because like ever since his Achilles tear in the bubble, we haven't heard anything from him. Last I read, like hope that he could maybe make a return in January or something, or late December. It's December 31st, and I was recording this video now. It's 11:32 p.m. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna say him. Cole, Franz, Bol, he's finally breaking out. Finally now. Um, yeah, they're not gonna do anything this year, but if they do get lucky in the lottery and they do manage to get their hands on Wemby, man, that's gonna be a special team. They're above the Bulls because the Bulls are they're depressingly bad. Like there's no life from Chicago. Like DeRozan, he's just literally just putting up empty stats on a terrible team that cannot win games. They, I think it's so well documented at this point. I don't really need to say much about them. Charlotte, they're above Charlotte because they play better record than Charlotte, and also because Charlotte's been extremely injured all year. Like the big three, quote unquote big three of Scary Terry, LaMelo, and Hayward, has only played like a handful of games, like maybe like one or two games actually where they all played. And like I think like yesterday, Hayward only put up 2 points. I saw a graphic that said that, and he's getting paid $40 million a year. So yeah, it looks like the Hornets MJ got scammed again. Um, Melo's always out for like weeks, seemingly ankle stuff. Jared's like Oubre, he is kind of questionable decision making. It was Preacher Washington, but just seemingly, I don't think if they weren't always injured as much that they wouldn't be this bad. I didn't think they would be this bad going the season, with the Miles Bridges scandal going on. But yeah, yeah, they're all of that. Um, the last three teams, the Wemby contenders here, Spurs got off to a hot start. After a hot start, cooled off as they realized that Wemby was in this draft, and that could sometimes they'll forget about trying to some winning occasionally, like what they just did yesterday to the Knicks. Um, they have the worst roster in the NBA, but they'll always look at a few occasional wins or here and there, surprisingly. I'm gonna say about them. Detroit, I thought they'd been good. I thought they would be good maybe this year with the draft that they had and the offseason acquisitions, but Cade still isn't to him yet. At least not yet. Ivy doesn't look so good. He's only averaging like 15 points per game, 4 assists and 4 rebounds, on string splits of 41, 32, and 73. So not good. Bojan's the team's leading scorer, and he's the most efficient leading scorer, and he's still taking like 16 shots a game, 16 or 18 shots a game. So his trade value is at all-time high. And not really seeing any signs of life in Detroit, so that's where they're there. In Houston, they're just really bad. Like, ain't nothing to even have any remote real hope for. It's just Jalen Green, KBJ, and Jabari Smith. Just the number 3 overall pick is just a spot-up shooter now, and because Steven Size does not know what he's doing. They go ball every game, and they suck. That's about it. OKC is in the Wemby contenders tier because they actually have something to be hopeful for that could possibly maybe have some slim chance of trying to get into the play-in with how the West has been this year. SGA, he's turned into a borderline two-way player. In fact, he's top 10 deflections, total deflections, and deflection per game and steals. He's an immaculate efficiency right now too. Meanwhile, his team is garbage since Chet's out for the year. From because got into the Drew. Yeah, they're indeed dear. My Wizards are bad. I don't want to talk about it. We've just gosh, like it, yeah, no, I'm not gonna spend that much time about it. Like Beal's been injured a ton, and we're kind of inconsistent. But there's signs of hope, I guess. But we're not better than the Lakers. I don't feel like right now. It's like a body of work. Lakers are just right now. It's just more of the same. LeBron does LeBron things. AD is out for a chunk of the year. Russ is Russ, and outside that's just pretty bad. The only other bright spot being Reeves, Austin Reeves, whatever you like to call him. And the Warriors are the best in D tiers because their home record is so absurd. Like they'll just pull wins out of their butt just because they're at home. Which if they were road games, they would have the total opposite result. Um, yeah. And now to mid. Yes, it made it a little bit backwards, but just go with it. Minnesota, it has been dysfunctional. Just the whole Gobert experiment. I didn't think that the trade logic made a ton of sense. Just trading for a guy who needs perimeter defenders to be as best we can, slowly stick to guarding the paint, and then give up your perimeter defenders for a guy who needs perimeter defenders to be most effective. Like Patrick Beverly, Vandy, Rando, or whatever his nickname is. And a ton of picks too, and other players. Which now Utah is actually looking better than Minnesota right now. They've just been a dysfunctional mess. Like Ant-Man, he's actually been okay. Okay, he hasn't been as bad as people have said he's been. Although he's falling off, they're just they're a mess. And I think Ant-Man, I'm not sure what his stats is after that. I forgot who they were playing when he went out and he was big running band. He was down for a bit. I'm not sure what was going on with that. But yeah, the Timberwolves are just yucky. And the Raptors, I don't know what happened to them. They really fell off. Scott is having a sophomore slump, although he's shooting a lot better from three now. I saw, and their lack of any bench is really proving to be biting them because they're can I just write down they can't keep up because the starters play a ton of minutes. They're all playing north of 30 a game, or 30 a game, and with that being the main all the time, you gotta expect maybe a little bit of wear and tear, maybe the fatigue. Siakam's still him though. No, we don't have to say much about the Raptors really right now. They're just like most teams in mid tier, at least these teams. And Indiana, they're an okay team. Look, they're not good enough to be. They weren't B. B is oh yeah, they're solid, at least in some form or fashion. Actually, with Miami being the only real uh, exception to the rule, Indiana they're all right. They won the games with Hallie being him. There's Mathurin, AJ Nemhard, Aaron Neesmith. There's so many they've got so many draft steals that are all providing value. Buddy Turner, all of them. Um, yeah, they're doing all right. They're probably actually you should go over Atlanta considering how Atlanta got manhandled by the Lakers. It was the Lakers yesterday, the other day. Atlanta's just pinnacle of mid, and now they're starting to. Now my Hawks are starting to fall off. Trey's efficiency has fallen off. None has been good, but letting Headband Herter go is proven to be a terrible mistake. Cause he's hooping right now in Sacramento, and just we're at everything. Yeah, in Portland, they've been alright. And Dame's being Dame. He's leading clutch scoring, and it's in fourth quarter scoring, something like that. He's looking like a Jerry West clutch player of the year. Candidate, front runner. Simons, he's doing his own thing. Yeah. And for the Clippers, bad early half of the season. Some released and they started to win. Then they lost to Boston, and Boston they made a comeback and then kind of stalled there, and then lost kind of inexplicably to Indiana and bottled the lead there. With Kawhi playing, he's just trying to work rust off, I guess. And towards Sam, but this team is incredibly glass and just. I'm not impressed by anything that they're doing right now. I'm really not, despite their high seeding. I'm not hating. I really want Clippers to succeed, but I'm not feeling this right now. And now to B tier, the final tier yet to be done. Got Sacramento up in here because they've been offensively just great in a lot of categories. They're top three in think scoring or just points per game, and they're doing it by committee because like there's so many great options. You know, Fox, obviously Sabonis, and then there's all the perimeter options that they have because the floor spacing is so good. You know, you got Herter, Harrison Barnes is balling. Monk, and of course the rookie Keegan. He's hooping, just doing his own thing. Everyone's contributing, and they've actually finally got people actually showing up to Kings games, and it actually gets loud. So you can almost imagine what it'll be if they do make the playoffs, which seems that they will actually finally break their playoff curse of 16 years. But they need to play some defense because right now they're pretty bad at it. So like if they really want to be, really want to like we have a chance to remake some noise, think later on in the postseason, they need to string together some stops. But Mike Brown, he's doing great things over there on the other side of the bay, and I think he's a coach of the year candidate, especially because it's the Kings. And the fact that they're doing any winning at all is a huge W. The Knicks are in here because overall they've been playing solid ball for a while. They allow the second fewest or the fewest, the lowest field goal percentage, opposing field goal percentage. Teams really struggle shooting against them. They're just kind of playing good ball, but they've hit a real bad, very New York Knicks type streak as of late. If you know what I mean, blowing multiple leads and then getting embarrassed in San Antonio. It's been good as of late. That's why I'm playing the Heat, because I think the Heat actually playing more better as recent last I looked, I think. But maybe memory's foggy because it is pretty late right now. But, yeah. Uh, Miami's glass. But they'll luck out some wins, per usual. And, yeah. I don't really got much to say about Miami. And Dallas, Luca's hooping like on an absurd, probably never before seen level like this. We thought 2017 Westbrook was it. Man, this might be better than that. I don't know if Russ was putting up 5 through 50 pieces in a week, and Russ didn't have a 60-20-10 game, like Luca did against the Knicks, and like and Lucas points the lead. They need every single point, rebound, and assist from him. So honestly, right now I think he's my MVP frontrunner because he is the most valuable to his team. It's not that he's the best player on the best team. Well, he's doing more. His stats are more eye popping especially as of late, and every single thing that he does, just the positive, is what they need to have any chance at winning. So, yeah. And in fact, they're going over the Suns. Suns are the Suns. Like, I don't even need to explain what if you followed the NBA over the past couple years, or even just this season, like you have a gist why the Suns are kind of in the middle of the B tier. Like, yeah, they're good, but like they're soft. They've choked games and get embarrassed by inferior opposition. They're really dysfunctional on and off the court. Uh, yeah, like Mavs are playing better ball than them right now. And the Utah Jazz, why are they so high up in B tiers? Because actually, you know what? They probably shouldn't be that high. It's disrespectful. Uh, the Jazz, all the collaboration of young and old players that got into the Donovan Mitchell and Gobert deals, and even Conley and Clarkson who were there before those deals and played with Mitchell and Gobert in Utah. They're playing good ball. They have a don't give up spirit about them. They lead at home. They're a fun team to watch. Laurie is amazing. Everything has been they won't be world beaters every single night, but those get good wins most of the time. Yeah, they're in B tier. And last but not least, Philadelphia. Why are they not in A tier because of the recent forms? Because I'm just not impressed by anything they do. Just if these kind of up and down. They could have great games and they'll lose, or sometimes they'll have great games and they win. Harden is kind of whatever. It's just I feel like they don't really stand level of oppression as Denver, New Orleans, Boston, Brooklyn, Memphis, Cleveland, or Milwaukee for me as a team, really. And they got up to was kind of sluggish start also, so that also isn't helping them either. But yeah, so that's my NBA 2023 tier list. For the season so far, as we get closer and closer to New Year's, it's 15 minutes away from 2023 now. It's around 11:47. So I just squeeze this in. If any criticism, for this list, thoughts on it, please do put in the comment section below, and just like, subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. I enjoy making content like this, so I could do more stuff like this in the future. So yeah, and for anyone, time zones ahead, Happy New Year's, and yeah, those are really good. All these in regards to what holiday you celebrate, whatever. And yeah, see you all next time. It's about it.